might even have only been a month ago, there was a gas leak on the block. This was incredibly stressful because we go outside, there's a big gas smell. They start drilling in the ground in front of my neighbor's house.
What street?
Right here, right in front of my house.
Street.
Yeah. So there's big fire engines coming in, they're drilling.
Right next to the factory.
Right.
The plant.
Well, first on this side, then they drill in front of here, then they go right in front of right where I know that there's like something right there, and they're drilling. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? Do you know that there's a plume of phthalates under there? And they're like, what? We don't know anything about that. And I'm like, the fire department knows. The fire department didn't know. Con Ed didn't know. And they were digging down like several feet. So I was like, this is dangerous for us. And they were kind of poo-pooing it until I said, actually, this is dangerous for you too, because you don't know what you're digging into. And then they said, oh, okay. And then they went off and got the DP to come and look. And they decided that the plume was down like, I don't know the exact number, but it was like the plume is down 10 feet, but they were only going 5. But they didn't even know it was there. So I eventually called 811. You see how much time I spent on the phone? 811, which one of the guys from Con Ed said is the people you call when you want to dig to make sure you're not going to break into some other utilities stuff. The guy at 811 said, oh, the DEP doesn't share any information with us. Could you get them to do that? So I went to this meeting that happened a few weeks later and tried to mention that, and they said, apparently my phone call to Lental right after that complaining about why is it that this isn't happening started, a few other people complained on the block, and now they were looking at it. So now no one will come and dig here anymore without knowing that stuff is there. At the meeting I found out that it's migrating that way towards the river. So we're safe. Northwest, because it goes with the flow of the water table, which I didn't know where the water table goes. It goes that way. But it is only like 10 feet away from my house, so I wanted to know, because if it came this way, it would invade my basement.
We're quite literally on the edge of the plume.
Yeah.
And a developer recently purchased the land, and the plan is to build a 40-story apartment tower.
Yeah.
And do you have any concerns about the development of the new apartment building? Or
I do, because the conversation that I had, the one time in my life that I got to actually talk to the Department of Health about all of this was 2007, and I asked her, so what about, when somebody comes and digs? And she said, then we don't know what's going to happen. So she said, you're safe now that they closed. There's no air quality issues. It's over there. It's not going to come into your garden. You're safe until they start digging. And then stuff will come in the air. Of course, now they're evacuating everything, right? But they did say in the meeting that they cannot get rid of all of it, which means when they dig, some of this will be released into the air.